up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Penny. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2026 Mercedes-Benz CLE 300 Coupe, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so today we are in this one because this is an absolutely amazing looking coupe. Also, you got some new options for the 2026 model year I'm going to cover in this video, of course, but ultimately in this video we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip. I'm going to be giving you my final thoughts at the very end of the video as well, but as always, let's start with pricing. And so MSRP for the 2026 CLE 300 will start at $59,550. Powering the beast is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system that puts out 255 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 295 pound-feet of torque coming in at 2,000 RPM. Power is going to be set to all 4 wheels through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which of course you guys know we will be testing out here in a little bit, but 0 to 60 time approximately 6.2 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 24 in the city, 30 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. So before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the CLE, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. So there is a button labeled dynamic that is located just underneath the infotainment screen. Drive modes are going to include eco, comfort, sport, and individual, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and put it in sport driving mode. Let's find a straightaway and let's test out the paddle shifters and acceleration here. I want to see how quickly the paddle shifters are going to react for us here, and of course let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, got our straightaway here in sport driving mode. Go! Wow, not bad. That was fun. That's a heck of an acceleration. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Like, you're not gonna have any issues emerging onto the highway. Paddle shifters, they were okay. Not the very quickest paddle shifters I've ever tested, but they weren't bad. Like, they kind of feel high quality, even though they are in matte black plastic. They had a nice feel to them when you actually hit them, so I didn't mind the paddle shifters. I think they did pretty darn good, but they're not gonna be AMG quick. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, plenty of an acceleration emerging onto the highway. That was kind of fun. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes do come standard. As far as braking feel goes, since there's no one behind us here, go! I knew my camera was gonna fly. I knew my camera was gonna fly there. Yeah, braking feel is perfectly fine. So maybe a little bit on the softer side. It's not a super firm braking feel, but as you can see by the camera, it definitely gets the job done. So that was fun. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're gonna get an independent strut type front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension. But with the AMG line package, it goes for $3,000, by the way. You also get a sport suspension. That sport suspension gives you an adaptive damping suspension. So that's the one I always like to recommend. What that does is it monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So it really does give you the best of both worlds. The most noticeable difference is always going to be the ride quality, in my personal opinion. As far as steering feel goes, it's okay. It's probably leaning a little more on the heavier side of things, which I personally appreciate. So we do have it in sport driving mode as well, so it's definitely a nice feel to the steering. I don't mind that. Just for giggles, let's go ahead and take it out of sport driving mode here. It's still a little bit on the heavier side of things, which again, I kind of like, so no problems there. As far as ride quality goes, that has been perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today. It's nothing that would personally bother me. Rides perfectly fine. And now, this is the perfect test for cabin noise. We're going 58 miles per hour right now, so I'll be quiet here for a second. It's super windy here today, by the way, so a little bit of wind noise coming into the cabin, but that's just because we got like 50 mile per hour wind. So I'll probably do the exterior portion inside the car. I'll do the voiceover and then just show you guys the exterior. But yeah, it's super windy, so you do get a little bit of that, but other than that, it's actually a pretty serene cabin, so I don't have any issues there either. Then touching on rear visibility, it is a coupe, so it's not going to be as good as maybe a sedan or something like that. But quite honestly, I can see perfectly fine out of my rear view mirror, so I don't think I personally have any issues with it. Other thing is touching on forward visibility a little bit. Rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on the CLE, so whenever this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on the windshield wipers there. Kind of like automatic headlights, just one less thing you got to worry about. And the other thing is with forward visibility, right now, I am looking at a head-up display, which I can see perfectly fine even through my James Aura sunglasses. But it is pretty cool, and it's very bright. It gives me my speed all the way to the right, my speed limit is all the way to the left, and then it looks like maybe some safety features front and center there. So I really like the head-up display, and if you wanted that head-up display, you're gonna have to go with the Pinnacle trim that we have with us here today. That one goes for $2,100 in case you were interested. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior now of our brand new 2026 Mercedes-Benz CLE 300 Coupe. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 Mercedes-Benz CLE 300 Coupe, finished in Sierra Silver Metallic, which, by the way, is a $750 paint option if you did like it. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the CLE is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter W, indicating that this one is built and assembled in Germany, as it should be. But starting up front, you're going to find a Mercedes-Benz diamond block front grille in typical Mercedes fashion there. You're going to get a more aggressive front fascia for the AMG line package. It goes for $3,000. Then to the sides, of course, LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. You get the automatic feature with those. You also get automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So definitely very convenient, kind of like the automatic windshield wipers. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of the CLE. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. And so, starting with the side window surrounds, it's either going to be chrome or a gloss black finish. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored or gloss black side mirrors. They will be power adjustable, they're heated, they're going to be power folding, and you have auto dimming side mirrors actually as well, which is pretty cool. A little bit of chrome accents found on the door handles, and then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 18-inch twin 5-spoke alloys do come standard, but then there are plenty of different wheel designs ranging from 18-inch, 19-inch, 20-inch designs, so you can really customize this one and make it your own. But then making our way to the back, body colored lip spoiler does come standard. I like that, that looks good. LED taillights also standard, matte black rear diffuser down to the bottom there, and then to the sides, dual exhaust outlets with fake chrome tips. I guess they're not really trying to make it look that way, but either way, it is dual exhaust, but they are tucked away underneath. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. And tipping out, since we are around to the back of this one, when it comes to opening that trunk, there are a couple different ways to go ahead and do it. There is a button on the key fob, but the coolest way to go ahead and open that trunk is to press in on the upper portion of that Mercedes-Benz logo. So it's kind of like Volkswagen does it with their like Golf and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. But anyways, once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 14.8 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, of course, the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. Get some LED cargo lighting back there. There's chrome plated tie-down anchors. There's a grocery bag hook. And if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a little bit of in-floor storage then as well. So then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 34.2 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the rear seats there. Rear ventilation, believe it or not, does come standard. You very rarely find that on 2+2 seaters on coupes. I think the last time I saw it was on the Maserati Gran Turismo maybe, but yeah, it's a very rare feature there. But you have some cup holders back there, and of course there's a little bit of ambient lighting for the rear passengers then as well. Then making our way up to the front seats, power adjustable front seats coming standard, memory settings for up to 3 different drivers and passengers. Mercedes always does it for both sides, I like that. Heated front seats coming standard, ventilated front seats go for $250. And then Napa leather front seats actually do come standard as well. So overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was 100% on point. One of the best parts about the seats here is it's all vertical seams, so there's no awkward horizontal pressure points. So for that reason, and for these also comfortable headrests that we got up top here, seat comfort was definitely perfectly fine for me. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped. It is power adjustable as well. And if you wanted a heated steering wheel, it goes for $250. And we have one of those with us here today. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of cold out today. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. This is a very nice heavy weight to it. I like that. Got lock all the way on the top. That's your Mercedes-Benz logo. Just below that, unlock, and the button to pop the rear trunk there. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that gloss black engine start button located just to the left of that center infotainment screen there. And so once started up, when it comes to the gauges, Mercedes always crushes it with the gauge cluster. It's a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and there's a bunch of different looks, a bunch of different loadouts. You got the sport loadout, you got the classic one. You can display navigation up there if you wanted to, so definitely has a few different looks. I like that. I missed the understated though. I wish they would bring that back, but anyways, it does give you all the information you need. Of course, speedometers on your left, tachometers on your right. Got a digital speedometer front and center. It's got time of the day, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, and the outside temperature then as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Let me start with the panorama sunroof. Does come standard, so you got to appreciate that. LED interior lighting also coming standard. You got home link controls to up to 3 different garage doors found in the bottom portion of that frameless rear view mirror. You gotta love that. Now the ambient lighting though, that's what really gets me with Mercedes. They do an absolutely brilliant job with the ambient lighting. So multicolor ambient lighting is like 64 different colors. I'll show you guys a quick little clip of me driving through the car wash here. It looks absolutely stunning, so a huge fan of that. Dual zone climate control does come standard. There are wood and aluminum trims available, including this kind of carbon fiber look, also available, found just above the passenger side glove box and around the infotainment screen. I think that looks really good. But in the center here, you do have a wireless phone charger, a couple USB charging ports, your cup holders. Then within the center armrest, you have a little bit of storage in there. There's actually a USB charging port in there then as well. But overall, in typical Mercedes fashion, the interior quality is 100% on point. Definitely did not have any issues there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. What you guys are looking at is an 11.9-inch tablet style touchscreen display. You get Bluetooth and audio streaming with that, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system up there as well. You can check out your climate control information up there. You can adjust your ambient lighting colors and brightness if you wanted to then as well. And of course, you do have your radio information. So now this should be absolutely amazing. So get ready for this. The standard sound system on the CLE 300 is a 17 speaker Burmester 3D surround sound system. So 17 speakers in a vehicle the size of the CLE 300 should be just absolutely amazing. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next now. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. All right, 1, absolutely amazing sound system. 2, aluminum speaker covers. I forgot to mention that. That's such a high-end look, so I love the feel of them as well. 3, ton of bass. Absolutely amazing sound system, so big fan of that. The other cool thing about turning the volume up and down, you can either choose to press it just below the infotainment screen here, or you could slide your finger to the right to turn it up and slide your finger to the left to turn it down. Of course, there's steering wheel mounted controls as well, but what I'm trying to say is it's very easy to play around with that sound system, and an absolutely incredible sound system for the CLE. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen at least is when you do put this thing in reverse, you will find a very high definition rear view camera coming standard. You also have that panoramic view monitor there to the left as well. A couple different views with that too, so that's also always fun to play around with, but that is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, front side curtain airbags do come standard. To get a driver's knee airbag up front as well. Rear side impact airbags go for $700. Also in the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seat. seats, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard blind spot assist, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, forward collision mitigation, and a Mercedes-Benz emergency call service, which is kind of cool. If you were to get into an accident and the airbags deploy, it's going to automatically call you and ask you if you needed a police or ambulance or whatever the case. So I like that too. But also there is a driver assistance package that goes for $1,950, and that gives you all of your advanced safety features if you were interested. But overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here, very incredible styling. Big fan of the styling on this one. Great interior quality, especially the ambient lighting and the aluminum speaker covers and all the different finishes available. So a big fan of that as well. Excellent driving dynamics. This thing definitely gets up and goes plenty fine. Braking is plenty fine. The steering feel felt good as well, so that's definitely good all the way around. As far as room for improvement goes, I'll give you a couple things here. Of course, this can get pricey quick in typical Mercedes fashion. They draw you in with that MSRP, and then they offer like 100 different options to tack that up for you. And the other thing is, I'm not a big fan of the fake exhaust outlets in the back. I would have rather them just integrate those exhaust outlets like into the rear bumper and then have the exhaust actually go through it, as opposed to tucking the exhaust away underneath. Especially for a sporty car, it's just not the right look for a sportier car like the CLE 300. Maybe a hybrid, maybe an electric car, yes, but not this. But anyways, let me know if you guys would get the CLE 300, what you think about it in the comment section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media stuff if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what I've been doing for 11 years now. I do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.